Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2025 Hyundai Tucson hybrid all-wheel drive in the limited trim level. Now for 2025, they did redesign this vehicle, mostly on the inside, but there is some exterior improvements as well. This vehicle sitting on 235/55 Michelin tires wrapped around 19-inch alloy wheels with a gloss gray finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors in the front and solid rotors in the back. The name of this color is Cashmere Bronze, and it looks pretty cool, especially on this type of vehicle. Kind of matches it well. And overall, I think they did a good job with the original design, which the sides of the vehicle are basically the same. We do have some slight changes here in the front with the styling. And this one has the blacked out badge, kind of interesting. Has the camera there as well. Parking sensors across the front. So we had the body colored here, and then down here is kind of like a tungsten color mixed in with some gloss black. And then you have some lights as an accent light. And I have a full night video if you want to check it out. You see what this vehicle, how it performs at night basically. There's some pluses and minuses like all vehicles. But yeah, it has a quad headlight system. So it's 4 projectors, 2 high beam, 2 low beam. And they're in a fairly low position. And once again, you can check out the night video if you want to actually see it in action. There's some black cladding that extends from the front there around the wheel wells and the base of the doors as well. Kind of thickens up there at the bottom, and to some degree it kind of makes the vehicle seem a little bit more elongated and thinner there in the center. But yeah, pretty interesting design. Has body colored handles, upper portion of the side mirrors body colored. It has the gloss black pillars here which solidify the glass. There's also gloss black roof rails as well. This one has the egg-shaped type key here, which is kind of interesting. It doesn't have a key on the inside. It uses this physical key on a separate location here. So it's not on the inside of the fob like a lot of other key fobs. But it does have the lock-unlock, ability to remote start, open up the power liftgate. You can also move the vehicle forward and backwards. And then there's also a panic button here. But it's basically designed to just keep in your pocket and use the vehicle 100%. So it has a little sensor right here for locking the door, and then it has a sensor on the back of the handle for unlocking. So it's pretty straightforward and intuitive. There's also a physical key location behind this cover. You just slide that off and you can access it here. Only on the driver's side though. The door goes all the way to the bottom of the vehicle. You can see that cladding right there. Goes all the way to the bottom of the vehicle to keep that threshold relatively clean. And the inside material is kind of neat. So it has a soft touch materials here, and then there's a cloth right in here. And then you have like a vinyl armrest here, and then the hard touch is at the bottom. This handle is also enclosed, so you can utilize it as a pocket, and it has a little rubber lining at the bottom as well. And you have the larger pocket at the bottom. It does have the Bose sound system, which sounds pretty decent. There's a little tweeter speaker there, larger speaker there. There's the sill plate there on the threshold. And the power seat is powered, and it goes up and down, tilts, and then it tilts the back. So it has the leather seats here with the cloth there on the side where it matches up with the, where it meets up with the hard plastic. So that's a good idea. These are heated and ventilated. You have the large perforations there. They look good and feel good, no problems. There's the floorboard. And this is a hard touch surface, non-locking glove compartment, but it is large size, smooth plastic there on the inside. I love this little shelf that they added. This is nice. It's fairly large. You have some ambient light here at nighttime. And so yeah, just really well done. Just having that pocket there. I wish this was rubberized because it's kind of like a smooth plastic, but you know, that's just the way it is. Put like a little rubber, sort of like this pocket has a rubber floor to keep things from sliding around. And then you can see that cloth is located here as well. That looks good. And then the dash is a kind of like a vinyl type feeling, non-reflective, soft surface. The opening here in the front is fine. Getting in and out is no problem. The height off the ground, the seat height off the ground is great. It's just very easy to hop in and out there in the front. Now the back has a little bit smaller opening here. The swing of the door could be a little bit wider, but as it is, it's not bad. The back door, it has similar styling and materials, the cloth. We do have some more hard touch surfaces though, soft touch here. But yeah, and we do have a 3-stage heated seat back here as well. And there's the controls. The back seat is basically a bench seat, and the seats do fold down to add to your cargo space. There's also an armrest, the cup holders here, nice and soft. There's a net pocket on the back of both front seats, has a hard plastic here and then a net pocket. There's a hump in the center there. 2 USB-C ports there, climate control vents. There is the latch system for car seats, and it's kind of just in that seam there, so it's out of sight, but easy to get to. Huge sunroof. The roof rails are a gloss black. There's also a shark fin antenna that's gloss black. The third brake light is located here in the rear spoiler, but there's also a rear wiper hidden up in there as well. They can see it up in there. But that's pretty cool, and this is all smooth right here. And these taillights are excellent. LED taillights look really good. You can see them right now because the sun isn't out that much, kind of cloudy day. But yeah, they look really nice. The backup camera is in this very center position here. It's next to the tag though, but you know, still okay. Parking sensors back here. Then we had like that tungsten color in the back as well. The exhaust is fairly well hidden. Now we can use the key, or we can push a button under here to lift the power lift gate. And this is a hard plastic under here. If you have all the seats occupied with passengers, this is the cargo space, which is fairly decent. It's actually pretty good. The only thing about this, as far as the size is good, the only thing about it is this surface is very slippery, so things tend to slide around. So, you know, having some kind of cargo mat back here, some kind of rubber or something, cargo management, something to keep things from sliding around so much. It does have a place to put a shade if you have one. There's a subwoofer back here. There's tie downs as well. 12-volt power supply. Now there's a single light, which isn't that great, and I show that in the night video. You can fold these seats down. It's a 60-40 split, and you can have these little latches right here, so you can just pull that and it folds the seat down. Now, as you can tell, it hasn't folded all the way down, so you might have to go around and push it down. So as I push it down, it just kind of like springs back up because the seat cushion, I guess. But yeah, it's not completely flat. It does allow you to add to your cargo space, but it's not completely level, but it's okay. And you can also maintain passenger space if you need to. So that's as far back as they go. So you can fold them flat, or you can recline them, whatever you need. Under the floor, which is just kind of sitting there, is some more cargo space. And it has a tire inflator kit instead of a spare tire. I would definitely upgrade to get a spare tire on this vehicle because there's a lot of space under here. You can lower this down like that if you need to, you know, lower the floor and you don't need the subspace. You can do that. So when things slide around, they'll be at least be somewhat contained. Lowering the power liftgate, there's a button here, and you just press that and it'll lower down. It goes fairly slow. It beeps at you, letting you know it's coming down. The fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it locks with the vehicle. And it has a traditional cap, tether, and a little place to hang the cap here on the inside of the door. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. And you can see the floor mat snaps in place. There's the accelerator, brake pedal, and footrest. Pretty good amount of room. Let's take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a latch basically here in the center. And reach in, move it to the left, and lift up. It's kind of heavy. Man, that's a heavy hood. But it does require a prop to hold it up. Here's the prop here, and it swings up right to where that arrow is pointing. Engine compartment does have seals around the front, the sides, and the back. And it has an insulated firewall there. And you see the orange cables, or the high voltage cables, 48 volts. Then you have the insulation on the firewall. There's also some heat shielding back there because it is a turbocharged engine, you know, and a hybrid and all that stuff. So a lot of stuff going on this vehicle. Just has a little small cover here on top of the engine. It's oriented this way. This one has a 4-cylinder engine, 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and it puts out 231 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. So it is a hybrid system, but it has a traditional 6-speed automatic transmission with the all-wheel drive. The blind spot indicator is here on the side mirror. There's a little light that shines on the actual mirror itself. It's a little triangle there. It'll illuminate when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. The driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So you have 2 presets for the power driver's seat, and the windows are one touch up and down, and they are laminated glass as well. The rear windows, you do have to hold the button there. They're not one touch, but they do go all the way down. And you adjust the side mirrors here with that little pad. You just pick a side. Now the driver's seat is very similar as the passenger as far as the controls. It just adds a 2-way lumbar adjustment. And once again, it's a 3-stage heated and 3-stage cooled seat. To the left of the steering column, there's a few buttons here. So there's a dimmer switch for the interior gauges, and I show us a little bit more than just the gauges in the night video if you want to check it out. Traction control off button, default will be on. You can reset the 9-volt battery. Let's say you change it or something like that. You can use that button to do that. You don't use it very often. Open up the power liftgate here, and then it has a button to engage the parking brake. So we pull it, it engages the rear wheels. We have to press and hold the brake here and push it in to release it. There's a tilt and telescoping steering column here as well. There's a fuse box down here as well. Here's the new interior, which I like a lot. Much better than the previous generation. So there's plenty of legroom. I have the seat all the way back and all the way down, and it's a little bit too far back for me to drive, but it does limit the passenger space in the back. So, you know, when you put the seat all the way back like this. But yeah, it's fine for me. I do have to pull it up a little bit. So if you're a little bit over 6 feet tall, shouldn't have really a problem with it. The new steering wheel looks pretty good, and it feels good too. It has like a rubbery, soft material and leather wrapped with the stitching that doesn't stick out. Very comfortable, and it's a 2-staged heated steering wheel as well. So yeah, real nice and warm right now. Now it has this like a chrome accent, and then it has the Morse code here for H. It's kind of neat. Now you have your cruise control here on the left side with the lane keep assist system. It also has this little pages button. We'll get to that in a minute with a scroll wheel. That corresponds with the gauges there. Here on the right side is the volume for the radio. Change to the tracks. The audio source is controlled with this mode button. Voice recognition is here, and then you have a single button for your phone. So answer and hang up, same button. And then you have a button that you can customize here, the little star. Paddle shifters here across the back, plus and minus. Front and rear wiper controls are here, and it does have an automatic function rain sensing as well. Here on the left side is the turn signal, but it also has the headlight switch. So you can scroll through here, and when you do that, it shows up on the screen. So at nighttime, if you you just start turning it, and it'll show you what's on the screen there. But generally, you just keep it on automatic, and it's fine. So you notice it has this little thing right here. It's actually a camera with illuminators to keep an eye on your face to make sure you're paying attention to the road. It's a little bit not very useful now because we don't have a hands-free system or anything now. I think they're implementing this for future use, but it will, like, hey, it'll tell you if it can't see your face. So like if I put my arm like that and it can't see my face, then it pops up, and you know, a little bit of an annoying feature, but I think that's for future use for hands-free driving type systems. So this is the gauge cluster here. It's basically a screen. There is a fingerprint reader here to the left. But basically, we can use these buttons here, a little pages button and arrow button, to get different information. Right now, it's just like there's different views you can have. A digital speedometer, digital tachometer, fuel gauge, engine coolant temperature, all that stuff. But there in the center, you hit this pages button and kind of cycle through and get more information. So each page, there's 3 pages. This one right here, you can scroll up and down and get more information within this page. This is where you find tire pressure and This is pretty cool. It shows your torque, the power distribution depending on front or rear wheels. And then it shows where the power is coming from, whether it be the engine or the battery, and where it's going. Then you have your trips and all that stuff here. But yeah, those are the different pages. And this one is useful because it just shows you your status of the lane keep assist system, adaptive cruise control, that kind of stuff. You can adjust the cluster here. So we have the simple, which is this, and then you can have the classic, which is this, with kind of like a needle look. And then you have style A, style B, and style C. Just kind of cool. You can also link them to drive mode if you like. The heads-up display is looking pretty good, and it's pretty basic. It does have the status of the lane keep assist system, adaptive cruise control, similar to on the screen, but also has your speedometer there, and you know, just some basic information there. But it looks good and it's easy to read. Now the touchscreen over here, you can notice this is all like one continuous surface, but there's a separate screen on this side from this side. And basically it has this home screen, and you can slide over to different icons here and choose the one that you want. It's pretty easy to use. Has the navigation here, which you can zoom in and out. You can do searches and all that stuff. So pretty intuitive for navigation. You have your media information here. So in this case, the Bluetooth, but you also have satellite radio, AM, FM, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto options here as well. USB input. Status of your hybrid system is here. Gives you a little bit of information. And yeah, your phone projection, which would be Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You can do voice memos, you can check the weather, sports, you can go into your settings, and different features here. So it's pretty straightforward. You also have a pull-down menu, quick control, and you can set up different drivers here, profile settings. Below that, we have some physical buttons here. It's just kind of quick shortcut buttons. Volume knob, tune through the stations as well. Four-way flashers. Climate control for driver and passenger temperatures are here. And it has an automatic function. It has 3 different levels of automatic: high, medium, and low. Same thing with your heated seat and cooled seats, high, medium, and low, for both the driver and the passenger. Then you have your fan speed, front and rear defrosters, where you want the air to blow. So yeah, and you can sync the driver and passenger here, or you can unsync them if you'd like. So it's pretty straightforward. USB ports here. Now you have a USB-C port here. When you press this button, it'll be connected to the system. Or if you just want to charge a device, you can switch off to that. And then this is only charge. And then you have a 12-volt power supply here. Nice and sleek out of the way. Then there's a compartment here. And this is useful for putting a bag or whatever when you get in the vehicle. It has this large compartment. And it's still accessible, you know, like it's not covered up by a center console. Then you have to reach under. It's just like right there. So you have more buttons here. So this one has the all-wheel drive system, and you can change to the drive modes as you pull this button down or up. You have your different drive modes. You have Eco, Sport, My Drive, which is customizable, and then a snow mode. But if you're in a little bit more of a off-road scenario, you can lock the center differential here, and it'll make the all-wheel drive more effective. You do have an auto hold feature where it holds the brake for you when you come to a complete stop until you hit the accelerator. Downhill descent, that's another off-road feature. It's like a cruise control for going up or downhill, actually. It keeps you at a steady speed while still maintaining motion to keep you from, stop and start. It gives you a steady speed. Parking sensors, you can turn those off here. It has a little status light. And then if you press this button, it pops up the camera system. And the camera system is excellent. So we have the top-down view, and right now it's showing the front view. But you can have the back view if you want. And there's different views here in the front. So you have this view like that, the one we already saw, the front wheels, and then it just basically excludes the vehicle and just shows you the front wheels there. and then a wide view there in the front. So yeah, different views. You can see the tire tracks there and all that. But the back view is here. It has active guidelines, so as I turn the steering wheel to show you where the vehicle is going to go. That's useful. Then you have, of course, different views here in the back wheels, and then the large view there. So now this camera system not only can be popped up, and you also have this right here. It's kind of neat. It shows you the vehicle, and you can kind of get different angles here, see around the vehicle like that. But also as you drive, this could be useful for off-road scenarios as well. But as you drive, you'll get a idea of what's around you. So in addition to using this button to pop up the camera system, when you put it in reverse, so here's the shifter. So basically you go forward to put it in drive, pull it back gently to put it in neutral, pull it back to put it in drive, to reverse there. It makes a little bit of a noise when you put it in reverse. And when you put it in reverse, the camera system will pop up automatically. But being able to look at the front view sometimes, even if you don't have it in gear, is very handy. And put it in park, you just press here. So it's pretty straightforward. It's a separate stock here. It sticks out, and you just tilt it and then press there. So drive, pull back gently to go to neutral, all the way to reverse, and then push there for park. So yeah, the camera system is very useful, and when you put it in reverse is usually when you're going to see it. But if you need to see it, like if you want to nail a parking spot or whatever, you can press that. So there's cup holders here. There's a really good wireless charger, and it has this little status light showing you that it's charging. And basically, when you put your cell phone, it works really good, even with this thick case that I have. It has this raised center part, so when you put your phone there, it's got direct contact, and your phone doesn't slide around. It's very rubberized and big enough for even large phones like mine here. But yeah, just put it there and it starts charging, no problem. Hadn't had any problems with it, and it doesn't slide or anything, so it's really well done. So the armrest here is soft, not very wide, so you might not share with the passenger. There's a little place right here, quick access, I guess tray you can say. But then there's this compartment here, and there is my business cards at the bottom. But yeah, felt lined bottom, and it's basically the junk drawer of the vehicle. But this armrest kind of has somewhat of a spring to it, but it doesn't slap down on you, but it doesn't, spring up either. The rear view mirror is auto dimming rear view mirror, and it has the home link garage door button controls there on the bottom. Up here we have some tap lights here and here. Turn on all the interior lights. Have them turn on with the door is normal, but this is the off if you don't want that to happen. You have roadside assistance buttons here, and then this is for the sunroof. We'll get to that in a minute. Now the visor has a vinyl type material. Headliner is a cloth, so it's the same color, but it's different material. Has a little clip there, mirror, and the light is separate. You can turn that on separately. And it also slides out. Gives you pretty good coverage. Basically the same type of visor on the other side. So looking at this sunroof, huge panoramic sunroof. Now the front portion can tilt, the back portion is fixed. So yeah, this is really nice. So it has a power shade, but let's go ahead and tilt it up. It's not raining that much. Close it down. Oh, pushed it too hard. It started, there we go. Started closing the shade. I want to show you this first. I guess as far back as it goes there. Yeah. So now let's close it up and close the shade. Because the shade covers 100% of the light. That's like a soft material here. Looking at the visibility, hadn't really had any problems driving this vehicle. It does have some pillars back there, but there's enough windows and there's enough visibility really to see around. Of course, you have the blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert, parking sensors, really advanced camera system. All that technology to help you drive the vehicle safely. So it's not really a big deal, but just over the shoulder visibility has been fine. The 2025 model has about the same driving experience, and with the hybrid This is the hybrid limited, just like the one I've driven before. This one just has the new interior, slightly different exterior, but the interior is so much better to me. You know, that's where it really shines. But as far as the driving experience, the heads-up display, you know, the suspension, the acceleration, just the overall driving experience is identical, basically. Don't really notice anything different. Really appreciate the blind spot cameras. Even when I'm just making a turn like this, I can see right the line or the curb or whatever it is, whether I'm turning right or left, to get a good idea while I'm turning of where I'm at in relationship to other things, especially if it's a tight turn, you know, and there's a curb there. Now this particular vehicle has like this rattle going on here I don't know if it's in the pillar or in the door. Also the engine sounds a little rattly. Sounds like it's you know, maybe has some cheap gas put in it or something. But yeah, that's, you know, my experience with this particular vehicle. But the acceleration is basically adequate. You know, it's not like super fast, but it's not super slow. It's for what the type of vehicle it is. It handles everything well. But yeah, it's the interior is the biggest thing new that's important to understand about the 2025 model, is that it's just revamped completely, which is bringing it in line with the other Hyundai vehicles. You know, like the shifter being down here and the screen layout, and you know, the way certain things are you know, arranged, the steering wheel design, all this has been done in other vehicles already, and they're just kind of bringing this one up to that new level, which I like. I mean, it's really handy. Once you get used to the shifter, it's really nice. And the better use of this space over here in the center console, easier to access, and all the connectivity is easy to get to. So yeah, I think it's a well-designed vehicle. It looks good, and you know, even other people that looked inside, they're like, wow, this is a really nice vehicle. You know, they were really impressed with it. You know. Now, another thing I've noticed sometimes, I don't know if you can see this, I've had this experience in I think it was an EV6, Kia EV6, where the steering wheel had this little jiggle to it. The lane keep assist system will sometimes have a little jiggle. And certain times, it doesn't do it all the time. Actually, right now, I'm glad it did it now. So you can see it just kind of jiggles back and forth. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I think it was a 22 model. So this, you know, I guess it's like has something to do with the software or something. It might have something to do with trying to see if you're holding the steering wheel. But yeah, so when I'm holding the steering wheel, I can still feel it kind of jiggle back and forth. If I can kind of overpower it, if I push left or right, it'll stop briefly. But if I'm just kind of loosely holding it, it'll still do it. Yeah, stop doing it now. But yeah, the lane keep assist system works well, and it has the highway driving assist system. So as you're driving on certain highways, it'll kind of show some more information on the screen, like shadows of vehicles around you, and yeah, it does kind of help out a little bit as far as, you know, driving on highways. It's not essential or anything. It's just a little neat feature that it has. But the lane keep assist system is very solid, and it doesn't really bug me or anything. Other than that slight little jiggle right there, it seems to work really well.